I suppose I'd really like to say to your listeners one thing. These food nutrients that Jason is offering are what you think you're buying at the moment. Please do read the label, and Jason has a complete list in the United States Pharmacopoeia. They list all the side effects, harmful side effects, and disease processes that can be caused by these chemical vitamins and minerals. Now, that's in every library in America. It's the United States Pharmacopoeia. You look up the chemical, and it tells you the diseases it's been associated with. None of those are associated with anything that the food nutrients do because we've tested it. So that's my little sales plug for you. It's what you think you're buying, but you're not. There are dozens of people doing whole foods nowadays, which means we get bits of scrap broccoli and a bit of scrap watercress, and we mix it with some chemicals and call it whole food. That's not how the body receives food. What we found was this company that were doing it where the protein chaperones were attached to the nutrient. Now, that's how they work in food. It's the protein chaperones that actually deliver the nutrient through the gut. I always say at the right bus stop, if you see what I mean. Well, there's no point in getting on a bus to New York if you want to go to Denver, Colorado, is there? But, so the gut has this long passage which has different bus stops recognized by the proteins to deliver the nutrient there. Anyway, with great skepticism, I have to say, we tried these over about 2 or 3 years and found a very substantial difference in recovery rates and response rates, and we were actually getting results we hoped for and actually got. And that's across a whole range of diseases. We tried that. And so we continued doing these comparative trials. Is this food ascorbic acid or food vitamin C comparative to ascorbic acid? A lot of those tests were done in universities in America, and they're published data. The thing we found was from those that these food vitamins were many, many times more biologically active, but importantly, they achieved the clinical outcomes. Now, you can have 5,000 milligrams of this or 3,000 of that or even higher with some things, and part of that will be converted into, if you like, a vitamin C. But it's a very small part. The downside of that is increased acidity, which is always a good marker for disease, and the body then had to get rid of probably 95% of what was ingested. That causes stresses. Now, we now know that most of these antioxidants, the chemical ones, actually shorten life. That is very well published data, and only been in the last 10, 12 years people have been looking at that. And chemicals on the internet, they actually shorten your life.
Let me pause you there. Let me pause you there, Dr. Llewellyn, because I think that's kind of news to me. And go over that. Repeat what you said there and break that down. The antioxidants that most people think are helping them are actually shortening life.
I'm trying to be sort of as correct as I can without getting lawsuits all over the place. I've had those before.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, well.
Common antioxidants have been shown to increase mortality between 5 and 15%. And I can't find fault, and nor can my chums fault with any of that research. But they only started looking about 10, 15 years ago to find out, well, it's supposed to do this, but you have to take 5 grams of the stuff to get a little bit of that vitamin reaction. And you will get a little bit, but it is single figure percentages. It is not big. And so they decided, well, let's see if there's a downside. And they used, afraid to say, they used nothing to do with me, but they used animal studies, Petri dishes, and a whole bunch of other things. Some human trials using these antioxidants had to be stopped by governments because people were dying quicker. Very famous studies, one with smokers, where they had 10,000 and they were dying much quicker giving antioxidants than the non-smokers giving the antioxidants.
Wow.
There is a lot of that about. I don't know if Jason has it, I mean, just to be clear, I have absolutely no financial interest in with what Jason's doing. I would like a mammoth consultancy every month, but he doesn't appear to want to give it to me. Never mind. I'm happy to help and share the knowledge. But if Jason doesn't have this information on antioxidant studies increasing mortality, I'm very happy to provide it.
Yes, that would be very good. If you could send that to Jason and Jason send it to us or what have you. The question I have is, as you were doing this research in the 80s, maybe early 90s, what have you, and you started to see these different results with more holistic food, how did your peers receive that in the medical community?
Well, you've got two sorts of medics. One who says, what's your formula and how does it work? And the other one says, what's your profit margin? The profit margin boys aren't really interested, and that's all right, that's their life. The ones that wanted to go from the formulas, they took it on, and we did some protocols and things, and they still today will only use those substances. And because they saw the results, they cared about people and saw the results. And we got results, so this vitamin or that mineral was supposed to do this. You took a mammoth amount, caused increased acidosis and toxicity with a little result. When they swapped to these food ones, they didn't get any of the acidosis, and they got much better clinical outcomes. In fact, they got clinical outcomes that the others couldn't do. And that's been done on comparative clinical trials. So in other words, it achieved a goal of an outcome where the other one, no matter what dose we gave, did not. And that was quite important.
How much of our poor health in, America, Europe, what have you, how much of it do you think is due to poor nutrition or lack of getting what we need?
Oh, well, if you ask me, I would say probably there are a whole bunch of psychological factors that influence illness. If I remove those, I would say on subclinical malnutrition, which is what you're talking about, at least 80% of illness is due to weakened immune systems, and that's substantially due to not getting adequate nutrition from the soil. Now, when I'm saying that, I'm ignoring the fact of how we destroy ourselves with these fried fast food things. But if you come from the starting point where you say probably 80% is nutritional, and of that, at least 80% is due to nutrients in the soil not being there.
Well, there you go. We're to our second break here. After this 4-minute break, we'll continue with that and get back to Jason about how he merged all of Dr. Llewellyn's findings into Grown by Nature. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this 4-minute break.